Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu is said to engage Rand Water and several municipalities in Gauteng in order to discuss supply challenges. Today's emergency meeting comes after the latest statement from Johannesburg Water warning that the city's Commando system levels have worsened from critically low and now are at empty. Our reporter Tshegohaco Moagi is watching this for us, and she's live to us now from Auckland Park. And there's no telling what's actually going to be discussed in this meeting because it's behind closed doors. But this is an incredibly important story, given how many people might be affected by what's taking place.
That's correct, Ayanda. I mean, you can just imagine dealing with load shedding as a country and now having to deal also with water restrictions, something that residents of Auckland Park such areas such as Westbury, Montgomery Park and other areas within parts of Johannesburg, Northcliffe is also part of that green side as well. Those are just some of the areas, Ayanda, that have now had to deal with water restrictions. And from what we understand, that meeting with the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mchunu, will be taking place at 9 o'clock this morning, just to remind some of the residents, Ayanda, of what they are requested not to do with these water restrictions that are now in place, these level 2 water restrictions that are now in place from Rand Water. They are requested not to water their gardens with hose pipes or even wash their cars or clean their yards with hose pipes. And also something else that they've spoken to is filling or topping up swimming pools and water features. So those are some of the restrictions that Joburg residents are now faced with, having to deal with that, especially with the water restrictions that we are now seeing that are in place. And this also speaks to some of the issues that, we've spoken to residents throughout parts of Gauteng before on this very channel, Newzroom Afrika, where we speak about, the water situations that they are facing, where you'd often see elderly people being forced to go find water tankers to actually get water and then find a way back home with those very water tankers. And this would then be the situation with some of these areas where they would then need to locate the water tankers, get their buckets, fill up as much as they possibly can for the day, and then find a way back home. And with the elderly, this could be quite a situation that they're going to be facing, having to do the up and downs as these water tankers move around in the streets. And what we have heard from some of the residents in Johannesburg and specifically in Gauteng as well, they have really told us that, the dangers and the situations that they find themselves in is that they don't even know when these water tankers will actually arrive. Then there's the extra expense with water restrictions and with not having water at all, of having to then buy water, with some people not even being able to afford things like that. So we'll be traveling with Luyanda, my camera operator for the day. We'll be traveling today to various parts of Johannesburg that are facing these water restrictions to converse with some of the residents about how they are handling this situation.
Yeah, and before we let you go, Tshego, I wonder whether or not we feel there's enough information about the extent of the problem. We've discussed for years, quite frankly, some of the issues around infrastructure and maintenance, but from the statement that we received from Johannesburg Water, is there an explanation of the nature of this issue and perhaps even how long it might take to fix it?
That is the thing that most residents would also like to know, Ayanda, as to how long will it actually take to fix the situation? How bad is the situation for the residents of the city of Johannesburg? And how long will they have to continue with these particular water restrictions? You would know that with some of the water restrictions, it would mean that the lying areas would get a bit of water flow in their taps, but the higher lying areas, they would struggle to actually get water in their taps, these being areas that are situated on hilly places where there are hills, and they would then be struggling to get water at all in their taps. And this is what we'd also try and find out specifically from Rand Water about, how long can residents expect this to be ongoing for. I mean, we were told that some of the situation now that there isn't any water at all in some of these reservoirs, and that in itself is a problem when you look at situations where, like the Vaal Dam, sitting at about 90% full at this point. But we will definitely try and get an understanding from Rand Water as to how long this will go on for, what residents can prepare for, and also maybe get an understanding as to where these water tankers will be situated, so that there's more information for the residents and for the residents that are living in the city of Johannesburg.
Yeah, absolutely. Tshegohaco Moagi, for now, thanks very much indeed. She's live to us there from Auckland Park in Johannesburg. And once again, Joburg Water releasing that statement yesterday to mention that the city's Commando system levels have worsened from critically low now at empty. What exactly are the implications? Hopefully some of those answers will be forthcoming post this emergency meeting with the minister as well as several other municipalities in Gauteng.